Hello, everybody. My name is Andrew Reyes. I'm glad that you've allowed me to speak in front of the school staff and school board. Um, Today, I'm going to be introducing to you guys an application called TeamShake, um, and let's get into it. So, what is TeamShake? TeamShake is a mobile application that can be used on either Android or Apple. Um, it it is an app that allows for teachers to create groups or teams for their classes in a much simpler and organized way. TeamShake has lots of features that allow you to do everything from, easily creating teams by just a shake of your phone. You can share these teams via email, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever app that you use. You can create random or balanced teams for any type of situation. You can create multiple class lists that for easy use, you can create more than one list for one class. It just depends on what you want to do. You can easily add names. If you have a phone, you can do it through your contacts. If you have the contacts of members, or you can just type it in with the keyboard. You can also import existing lists from Excel sheets, or vice versa. You can export lists from the app to Excel sheets. So, very good thing to be able to do with this app. Um, so, why TeamShake? Why should you use TeamShake? Why should this district you know, add TeamShake to their list of apps to use. You know, you might ask yourself, why do I need this? Why does the school need an app like this? Well, I'm glad that you asked. TeamShake makes creating lessons centered around groups much easier to do. Not only can you create groups randomly, but you can also create groups, according to their knowledge or how advanced a learner they are. If there are students in your class that you might not want to have in the same group, you're able to separate them and make sure that they are not in the same group because whether they might misbehave or whatever the case may be. You could separate it according to gender, where you can always have the same an equal amount of men and women on each group, depending on if there's an even number, of course. And even if you have a small number of men, then you have women in the class. You can make sure that they are spread out evenly, where three every group has 3 men, and then every group has 5 women. It just depends on how many students you have in your class. Another thing is, like I said earlier, that you're able to export and import groups from spreadsheets to the app, or from TeamShake to the spreadsheets. You can do it back and forth. It allows the app to be very versatile. It can even also help with taking attendance, because you're able to track um, if students are absent through the app as well. And one of the best things about TeamShake, is that it allows and promotes student engagement and improves student learning. Because it allows for students to participate and be engaged with the group selection process. Since mobile devices nowadays are able to be shared on a projector screen and shown to the class, that allows for students to really be engaged in it and be like, wow, what group am I going to be in? Um, who's going to be my partners, all that stuff. It allows them to be really engaged and participate, in these group selection process. you know it allows for students to learn how to work with different types of students, making it very beneficial to use this app. Because in almost every career that we um take part in, we will need to learn how to work with strangers or people we have never worked with. And this allows for a better learning experience, not only for the students, in what they're learning in a particular class, but also allows for them to learn skills that they'll be using in the future. And it creates an opportunity for students to look forward to what groups they're going to be in. um even in just in that process I was talking about, of just being able to see, visually, wow, um my teacher has the the app on the screen. What group am I going to get? It allows for engagement opportunity to really have students look forward to what they're learning. So, next thing, can you trust TeamShake? you know TeamShake, simply, yes, you can trust it. There are no concerns around digital citizenship or ethics regarding this application. This application ensures that no breach of security occurs, and also doesn't allow for anything that affects students in a negative way to occur. If you go to the App Store, or on either type of device, it says that it says there that the developer does not collect any data on the app. If you go to the developer page that has all their apps on it, you can see under their privacy policy that they do not collect any type of data from their users, but in a more detailed way than the App Store. So again, yes, you can trust this app. And then the next question, how much will it cost? As a salesman, I don't know too much on how purchasing apps work for a school district, but there is a way for the school district to buy the app. If there is a way for the school district to buy the app once on one account and be able to, share it to every teacher in the district, then you'd only have to pay $199. And it is yours for free, no subscriptions, nothing is needed. You just buy it once and that's it. And if that's not possible and you'd have to really buy the app for every teacher, it's still a very, very low price. If there are about 250 teachers per school district, then the district will only pay, $500 for every teacher to use it in that district, for every class, and that's it. So there would really be no major financial impact on the district. So into the really nitty gritty of this app, so how does the app work? So there are a lot of features to this app. Like I said, I'll be going through pretty much the basics and some of the little bit of the advanced ways of using this app, and then I'll be playing you guys a YouTube video from our company to show you an example of really how you're using it in real time. So as you can see from this picture here, it goes the 1 through 6 if you want to follow with me. For the number 1, it says press the plus button and a window will pop up allowing you to add a user, and you'll repeat this until all the users are added to the list. For number 2, you move the slider to the left or right to pick the number of teams that you want to create, as you can see right here. I don't know if you can see that, but now you press the shake 'em up button or you shake up your phone up and down to simply create a team. And that's it. That's all you have to do to create the teams. Your teams will be created. You can also, disable the shaking, maybe because you're shaking hands and you don't want to create teams right away. You can disable the initial shake option on the main screen. So for number 4, press here. You're going to press here to pick a random user from the list. The user will only be chosen from the players who are not absent. So like I said, you are able to keep track if students are absent or not, which I'll get into more detail later. And you're able to pick one random user. So if you want to get a volunteer, quote unquote volunteer, you can select a random user and it'll pick a person from that list. For number 5, it says you can press the action button on the bottom right of the screen to do additional functions, which include picking a random player, toggle video out, which is where you if you're connecting to your phone or your tablet is connecting to a TV or a monitor, this will display the output on the screen. So like I said, this allows for better student engagement. Another function is marking all the students absent, so that they won't be chosen for a team. You can mark them all present. You can sort the list by name, alphabetically. You can sort it by last name, again alphabetically. You can also configure options, which allows you to get into the nitty gritty of the application, which we'll go into a little bit later. And then the last option under that is being able to share Team Shake. Like I said, that allows you to either share it through email, text message, Facebook, whatever app that you guys use. So number 6, it says to press the edit button to put the list into edit mode, where you can delete users or drag them into a different order. Again, simple, easy to use. Number 7, press the manage list button to save, load, modify, export lists. And the options available are you can backup or export your list through TeamShake. You can import a list, which is again very allowing the app to be very versatile. You can create a new list. You can load a previous list that you already had. You could save as new list. Of course, if you want to, you just create a list, you want to save it. Save it as a new one. Or if you already use that list and you want to make a change, you save it as a new list. And then you can do save list changes. These are all the different options available when you are under the manage list tab. And number 8, you can press the help icon to access our online help page. So if you go to press that number 8 right there, as you can see on the picture, it will bring you to the website, and it'll bring you directly into a page that literally has all these directions on it, so you know exactly what you need to do, and so that you are able to really learn it, learn in more detail. And this, it makes the app is very easy to use. You literally, it's all right there. Again, like I said, I'm going through it with you right now. There's not a lot of options to really learn. There's not really a lot of things to learn. Once I get to the more advanced options, then you can take a little more time to learn it. But again, there's YouTube videos on the page. On our website, there are also pictures and diagrams to allow you to really see how to really use it. And then there's also descriptions under them. So for the next image, I'm going to show you guys. This is the advanced options. So these user options include sub teams, opposed teams, and user strengths. So like I said earlier, you're able to create, balanced teams. And what I meant by that is that you can, adjust teams by their strength levels. You can adjust them by who you want on a certain team, who you don't want on a certain team. So you can see on number 1 here, it says the numbers in green circles identify a user's sub team. As you can see up there, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. The number in the red circles that identifies a user's opposed team. So sub teams and opposed teams are used to force people to always be on the same team or to never be on the same team. So if 2 or more players have that sub team number, they'll be forced to be on the same team. If that is possible through your group creations. Similarly, if 2 or more players have the same opposed team numbers, they will not be allowed to be on the same team. So one possible use of sub teams is to, if you want to assign students that work really well together to be on the same team, then they'll be on the same team. The opposed team can be very, very useful because it could separate 2 students that don't get along or that are very misbehaved. So you want to keep them separated. So the second user option that you're able to use is the strengths. So as you can see on the left hand side, the little arrows on the left to the left of a player's name indicate their strength. So strength can be assigned on a per user basis as weakest, weak, normal, strong, or strongest. The display of these arrows can be turned on or off by toggling the show player strength option. This option is available because we understand that might not be able to, or that you might not be able to want to have like um strength assigned to students, but it also allows for students who are maybe a little bit more advanced in their learning to be able to be put on teams with the same strength, or be helping a team that might have students that are struggling. And you know in order for strengths to be used during this team selection, the balanced team strengths option must be enabled, which is this is default, or you turn it off. When you assign strengths to players, this will change the way teams are selected. Team Shake will still be as random as possible. However, it will try to create more balanced teams by distributing the stronger and weaker players more evenly across the teams. So next user option that you're able to choose for the teams is the gender. So this option is not shown explicitly in the above diagram. However, each user can be assigned a gender. Players that do not have a gender assigned will be displayed in green text, as in the diagram. Male players will be displayed in blue text, as you can see above, and females will be displayed in pink text. Note that these display of these colors can be toggled by setting the show gender color option. So by default in Team Shake, setting a player's gender will have no impact on team selection. However, there are 2 configuration options that will allow the way gender is used in creating teams. So if the balanced male, a female option is enabled, Team Shake will attempt to create teams where each team has the same number of male players as every other team, and vice versa, same thing with females. The other configuration option that can be enabled is separate male and female, and this option will basically, create separate teams of males and females, and you're not able to have them both on because it wouldn't make sense if you're trying to balance them and then separate them. It doesn't make sense. So the next user option is the advanced team selection. Number 4, there are some additional configuration options that can be used to change the way that Team Shake picks teams. So the first one is equal ability teams, which allows you to create teams where each team is made up of players with similar strength. Same thing. It's kind of similar to the balanced team strength. And the other 3 remaining options include larger uneven teams, larger groups first, and sub team 1 and team 1. These are very minor changes to the way teams are picked. The next instruction for number 5 is the absent and present. The red no circle on the right of each user's name could be used to toggle a player between absent and present. Users that are absent will not be placed into any teams. Both the text of player's name and the no circle will change color to gray to indicate an absent user. Next one, or 6, number of players indicators. These two numbers in the bottom bar on the screen give you an easy indication of how many players total are in your list, which is like the right number on the bottom, as you can see on the bottom right, number 5. And how many users are currently present, which is the left number. So as you can see on the bottom right of the image, it says 16 out of 16. So again, the number on the right is how many players total, and the number on the left is how many are currently present and not absent. And the last instruction, as you see on bubble number 6, says press this button to toggle between choosing the number of players that will be in each team and the number of total teams that will be created. So these are all the options. These are all the options that you can and settings you can go through. And like I said, it's very easy to use. You don't even have to do any of these advanced options. You can, as you learn them, you will be able to, and it makes things even more I'd say more engaging, more fun for the students. So it's up to you to whoever teachers who want to use these options. But again, the basic options is very easy to use. So again, like I said, I'm going to be showing you guys a video on
this video is to introduce you to TeamShake, the exciting 5-star rated app from Rhino Enterprises. TeamShake is the technological and environmentally friendly way to choose teams. Instead of a hat and scraps of paper, you just enter your friend's name in your iPhone and shake it up. Here is a quick tour of the app. Simply enter your friend's name by pressing the plus sign at the top right-hand side of the screen. You can type in their names or select them from your contacts. Just like putting names in a hat, the order you put the names in doesn't matter. When you have finished entering everyone, choose the number of teams and give your iPhone a good shake. Or for the less brave, you can simply press the Shake 'em Up button located at the bottom of the screen. Shake again or press the Reshake button if you don't like the initial selection. Continue doing so until you are satisfied with the teams. At this point, you can start playing your game, or you can share the teams in an image, text format, or as a spreadsheet. For example, you can press the Action button, choose Share Teams as Image, and then post a picture of the teams to Facebook. Or you can choose Share Teams as Text, and then send an email containing a list of teams. Now let's take a look at some of the more advanced features of TeamShake. When you press the Manage List button, you will have a number of options, including an option to save the current list or to load an already saved list. Let's start by saving the list we just created. Since this is a new list, we need to give it a name. Note that changes to the temporary list that you are using are automatically saved, so if you exit TeamShake or even reboot your phone, you won't lose your changes. Next, let's load an existing list. For example, let's pull up my Trivial Pursuit list. Let's say Cindy is not playing this week. We can press the red absent circle to the right of Cindy's name to exclude her for our teams today. Additionally, Sam will no longer be part of this list, so we can edit the list and permanently remove Sam. TeamShake also has some pretty advanced team selection options that can be controlled by setting up players' properties. Let's press on Ginny's name to edit Ginny's properties. Under this screen, we can set Ginny's gender to female and put her on sub-team 1. Now we can go to Jay and set his gender to male and add him to sub-team 1 as well. Since Ginny and Jay are now on the same sub-team, they will be guaranteed to be on the same team after all the teams have been created. We can also edit Hank and John to put them both on opposing teams. This will force John and Hank to always be on different teams. Note that a player's sub-team and or opposed team is indicated by the red and green circles to the right of their name. Finally, let's create teams of 3 people. We do that by pressing the double arrows in the bottom left of the screen to switch to picking people per team instead of the number of teams. Then sliding the bar to select 3 people per team. We can give the phone another shake and pick some teams. Getting back to the main screen, you can press the Action button in the bottom right to see some more actions that are available. For example, you can press the Pick Random Player button to pick a random name out of the list of players. If we press the Configuration Options button, we will see a number of additional options. If your hands are a little too shaky, you can disable the shake gesture for the initial or subsequent screens. Next, we see a number of team selection options that can control exactly how the teams are picked. You can use these options to allow you to do things like pick girls only or boys only teams. These options are covered in detail in the help section of our website. There are also a number of display options that control how the players and teams are displayed on your screen. Further down, there are options that allow you to configure the colors used for the teams and the names used for each team. Finally, if you need more information about the app, there is a direct link to the TeamShake homepage and also a send feedback option to send questions or comments to our team.
All right, so there you go, guys. That's a basic general overview of what I basically just went over. All the directions of how to really use the app. That was just an example of real time of how to really use it. And so I just want to thank you guys for being a part of this presentation. Thank you for allowing me to present, this app to you guys, and hopefully that you guys will be using this and adding this to your guys's inventory of apps to use, on a daily basis. This app is already being used across the world by teachers and coaches and various people. So again, thank you for your time and thank you for allowing me to be here.